man charged with the murder of Barry and Sheena Johnson in the 8 Mile Rock Magistrate Court. I'm Natalia Hall. Stay tuned for that story straight ahead.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news tonight, after a week-long intensive investigation, police hauled 4 Grand Bahama men before the court today for the fatal shooting of Barry and Sheena Johnson. The couple was found shot to death at their home in the Western District on September 13th. As Natalia Hall tells us, it was an emotional scene as the suspects were taken into court under heavy police guard.
There was a strong police presence around the 8 Mile Rock courthouse. Armed officers were strategically positioned from early in the day. Officers from the K-9 unit, drug enforcement, and urban renewal joined their counterparts in the Western District to provide security at the arraignment. Curious onlookers began gathering early, and officers led by Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police Emric Seymour erected barricades to keep them a distance away from the courthouse. Family members and friends of the victims and the accused began filing into the courtroom shortly before 10 a.m. Moments later, sirens could be heard as police vehicles arrived with the 4 accused men to be charged with the murder of Barry and Sheena Johnson. All of the accused were handcuffed and shackled as they made their way across the courtyard and then into the courtroom. The men, 22-year-old Alan Alsamy of Take Me Corner, Hannah Hill, 8 Mile Rock, 22-year-old Devon Hall of Pinedale, 8 Mile Rock, 23-year-old Virgil Hall of Columbus Drive and Grenfell Avenue, Freeport, and 28-year-old Paul Belazar. The 4 men were arraigned before Magistrate Gwendolyn Claude. Alan Alsamy, Virgil Hall, Devon Hall, and Paul Belazar were all charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of armed robbery. They are also accused of robbing the victims of their car keys and their GMC truck valued at over $8,000. Due to the nature of the charges, the 4 men were not allowed to enter a plea. Additionally, Alan Alsamy and Virgil Hall were charged with possession of an unlicensed Winchester shotgun and 4 gunshot shells. Both men pleaded not guilty to those charges, and they are set to return to court in January of next year to answer those charges. All of the men were denied bail on the murder charge and were remanded in custody. Attorney for Alan Alsamy, Osmond Johnson, advised the court that he will be seeking bail for his client. Magistrate Gwendolyn Claude said all of the accused can apply for bail at the Supreme Court. The case was adjourned, and as Magistrate Gwen Claude was leaving the room, Devon Hall asked her to stop because he had something to say to her, but Magistrate Claude left the room. As the accused men walked out, emotions ran high, and a female in the courtroom had to be escorted to the outside by police. The men will be remanded to Her Majesty's prison to await their trial on December 3, 2015. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Thanks, Natalia. Well, a marijuana farm located over on the island of Abaco. Police tell us that a team of drug enforcement unit officers, along with their U.S. counterparts, were on routine air patrol in the southern area of Marsh Harbor on Saturday when they discovered a marijuana field containing some 400 marijuana plants ranging from 4 to 5 feet in height. Now, no arrests were made and investigations are continuing. Meantime, police here in Grand Bahama have in their custody a 22-year-old male of Andros Drive, Lewis Yard, for causing grievous harm. Reports are that around 11 on Saturday, police received information of a street fight in the Lewis Yard area. Officers responded and met a male who reported that he was involved in an altercation with a male who is known to him. He told police that the man attacked him with a machete. He sustained serious injuries about the body, and he was taken to the Ram Memorial Hospital, where he is listed in serious condition. And some good news to report regarding that 32-year-old female of number 153 Aberdeen Drive, South Bohemia, who was reported missing. Police now say Tamika Lang, who was missing since September 12th, was located on Sunday afternoon in the Freeport area. Police are thanking members of the public for their assistance in this matter. Switching gears now, some residents of the Southern District experiencing a discoloration in the water coming from their taps, and many have expressed concern over the matter. ZNS News received calls from residents in the Pinders Point area today about the quality and the color of the tap water in that coastal community. Tonight, the Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, is addressing those concerns. In fact, Minister Darville says he has also received calls from residents in the Pinders Point and the Lewis Yard community with similar concerns.
Immediately we contacted the water company and the Grand Bahama Utility Company to find out exactly what was happening in the area. And it's been confirmed from the water company that some ongoing repairs were taking place in the Pinders Point and Lewis Yard, and it had to do with flushing some of the underground infrastructure that is carrying water into that area. As a result of the work that has been done, the residents of Pinders Point and Lewis Yard could be reassured that the situation is under control.
Now, Minister Darville says he wants to make it clear to the residents in the Southern District that this is not a cross-contamination of well water.
There is no petroleum products would show up in the water system because the water is being supplied by the water company in Freeport. It's important to understand that with the ongoing studies that is going on in the Pinders Point and Lewis Yard area from the Pan American Health Organization and the World Health Organization, no well water in the Pinders Point and Lewis Yard should be used for consumption, full stop. And so the water that is going into the area is coming from the Grand Bahama Water Company. And what they have noticed was a little bit of corrosion in one of the pipes, and so the flushing was necessary to remove this corrosion. It's my understanding that the problem is now under control and is solved, but we will be following up with the water company to ensure that the residents of Pinders Point and Lewis Yard have access to clear, clean drinking water.
In other news, work has been in the pipeline for several months now, and today those plans were put into motion as fruit and vegetable vendors in the downtown area began the process of relocating in order to accommodate repairs. As Kimberly Mullings tells us, vendors are looking forward to that facelift.
Renovations began Monday morning at the vendors market in Freeport. Vendors were temporarily relocated in the downtown parking lot across the street. Some vendors are looking forward to the completion of the marketplace.
I'm very excited and I'm very pleased.
Vendors had to get off to an early start to begin moving their goods across the street to a temporary location. This vendor, Sandra Roll, finds it refreshing that work is now underway. She's adjusting to the change and is eager to see what the new facilities will look like.
Tourists now could walk through where they could see each and every one of our shops, because being parked over there sometimes, the bus block it, some of our shop who on the left hand side, they hardly could have seen us, so they usually would have stayed on one side. So this is a good change for a while. Well, right now, some of us had our shops open up, the front door. So what they're doing, the rest of us who one wasn't do, it'll be open where we could display our stuff on the inside. We don't need to have no table now on the outside. So the tourists will be able to walk in now.
SRE Construction was awarded the contract at a cost of just under $250,000. President Sanford Culmer says vendors can be assured that they will return to a new and improved marketplace.
They want to do it something similar to Festival Place in Nassau with the colors and everything like that. And it's going to be a walk-through instead of a drive-through now. You don't have people worrying about getting knocked down or anything like that. And I think it'll when it's completed, it'll cause the Bahamians now to move in and see what they could assist the vendors with in terms of purchasing.
SRA Construction estimates that renovations will take approximately 4 weeks to complete. I'm Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Kim. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A local business consultant and international speaker is taking steps to help women realize their dreams. President of Benchmark Consulting Services, Billy Bowe, is preparing to host an exclusive event for women next month under the theme The Coco Chanel Principles of Business for Women. Coco Chanel was a French designer who revolutionized fashion in the 20th century. But the fashion icon was also a savvy businesswoman, and Billy believes women can benefit much from her life story.
She had a story, and I want to share her story, and also the business principles that she used to elevate herself. And now, even today in the 21st century, her brand still remains. When you know or hear Chanel or you see Chanel, you associate that with elegance. And so not only are we using Chanel's life as a backdrop to what women can do, but we're using it because of the leverage, the branding that she was able to do. Because you can do that with a product, a service, or as yourself.
Well, international best-selling author, marketing guru, and motivational speaker Janet Schweitzer from Los Angeles, California, will be the featured speaker.
Janet Schweitzer actually co-authored the book with Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul, the originator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And this just goes to show how someone right here in Freeport can connect with someone like that. I got a Skype call, and it was Janet Schweitzer. She had heard about this event, and we're on a Skype call at I think it was at the airport, and she said, I heard about it, and I want to be a part of your event. She usually comes to, she would not even come on a stage unless you're paying her like $10,000. And she's coming here because she heard about it, she saw the passion that I have around it, and she wants to give what she has to offer to women here in Grand Bahama.
Now the event is set for the Grand Lucine Resort on Saturday, October 3rd, beginning at 9 a.m. And some former students of the Hawksville High School coming together to make a difference in the country. The C92 Association is made up of the class of 92, which is the last class to graduate from that high school campus. President Quinton LaRota says that they are dedicated to effecting change any way that they can, and their first order of business is to adopt the Genesis Academy and help to mentor young people. In other news, two local organizations getting some much-needed financial support. The Grand Bahama branch of the Women's Association of the Free National Movement presenting checks to the Bahamas Air Sea Rescue Association and the Cancer Association of Grand Bahama. Both entities gathered at the FNM headquarters for the presentation. President of the association, April Crowther-Gao.
The efforts of BASRA to respond to marine disasters, assist in search and rescue, is critical to our community life and should never go unnoticed or unappreciated. We thank the many volunteers and corporate sponsors who, like us, believe in the work, contributions, and importance of BASRA. The FNM Grand Bahama Women's Association look forward to continuing to assist them in the future. It was a pleasure working with the Cancer Association of Grand Bahama on March 7, 2015, when we hosted our first annual Cancer Fund Walk. It was a successful venture where patrons walked for the cause and also in memory of their beloved one.
Now, Justin Snitsky of BASRA and Norma Headley of the Cancer Association of Grand Bahama say the funds will go a long way in helping them to help others.
In a financial struggle throughout the year. Our memberships were down, our supporters were down because of the state of the economy, and we understand that, but unfortunately with BASRA has to go on. And we were very pleased when the FNM Grand Bahama Women's Association stepped up to the plate and said they'll take us on as a pilot program.
Yes, and thank you all very much, and hope that next year we'll be able to triple what we're doing this year.
The S2 organization assisting a record number of men with prostate cancer screening this weekend. Organizers say the turnout was encouraging and gives them hope that men are now taking better care of themselves. Megan Shepard reports.
Chapter leader Dr. Andrew Moxie describing the turnout on night one as fantastic, as hundreds of men from the community making the effort to check the status of their health. He says he believes the message of detection is resonating with the men of Grand Bahama, and the numbers are proof.
Us too is doing our part in which we draw the blood, we do the for the PSA, and then the men go and see a doctor who then does the digital rectal exam. And then we have the healthy lifestyles who are actually doing the glucose, the blood pressure, and cholesterol checks. Those two trains or tracks are running separately, but as you can see, the lines are fairly long for both of them.
These men took the step to get their screenings. They say they recognize the importance of screenings and encourage other men to do the same.
Well, I came out here to get screened because I was diagnosed with cancer in 2008. And I hook up with my brothers them, I keep coming get my checkup. It is important for each and every man to come and do it because it's a big part in our lives. And if you don't check, you don't know where you're going. So it's best to check it out and see where you're coming from.
Every year that they do the screening, I always try to come out because I think it's the most affordable time to do it, and I think it's a good thing to be done. When you're getting up in age, you need to have these tests done so that you can make sure that if there's any possible chance of getting early detection, you do it.
Just be sure after you reach a certain age that you get your prostate checked, because I understand it's a very painful death if you have the disease.
Screening coordinator Don Mitchell dubs the event a success.
We are happy that the men have responded so well. We know that we were out there in the public domain more this year than we have in the past because we saw our numbers drop a bit last year. But we think we have compensated for that this year, and we believe we're going to screen 600-700 men in total.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
And now it's time to Ask the Doctor.
I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Today I will discuss a little more on medication compliance, which is a common problem we encounter when seeing patients in the clinic. There are many reasons why people are not able to take their medication as directed, such as simply forgetting, feeling that the medications they are taking are not effective or may not be working, fear of possible side effects such as erectile dysfunction in men, which is a common complaint especially in those taking high blood pressure and diabetes medications, difficulty taking the medication, especially if it has to be injected, such as insulin or certain blood thinners, or not purchasing medications because it's too expensive. If you or a family member are facing the challenge of noncompliance with taking prescribed medications, please speak to your doctor or pharmacist. Establishing a strong relationship with him or her can create an open environment where you can feel comfortable asking questions and expressing concerns about your medications. Remember, if you don't take your medication as directed, you or your loved ones could miss out on potential benefits and possibly lose protection against future illness. If you have a question about a medication you are taking, please post it at PJ Bahamas on Facebook or email askthedrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.
Everybody, Sports Number Ricardo Lightman. This one goes out to all the Miami Dolphin fans out there. No flags, no T-shirts, no hat. It was a wonderful day in the Bahamas. Well, the 2015 CAC Bodybuilding Championship starts Thursday at Atlantis Resort Paradise Island. Kimberly Mullings spoke to one of those rookies ready to get on stage and show them how it's done.
Over the summer, DeKal Nesbitt competed in the National Physique Committee Southern States Bodybuilding Fitness and Figure Championships in Florida, placing third in novice and fourth in open class figure C. She also participated in the Bahamas Bodybuilding Fitness and Figure Nationals last month, placing first in novice and first in open class C. Surprisingly, it's 22-year-old DeKal Nesbitt's very first bodybuilding season. Her goal is to go out as sharp as possible for this year's Central American and Caribbean Bodybuilding Championships.
My third show for the year, and every time I go to the stage, I want to look better and better. I'm expecting the athletes to be really sharp, looking at the past pictures and listening to competitors talk about it that have done it before. So I'm just hoping it's going to be a fun experience. It being in Nassau as well, the crowd should be really, really fun.
It has been a long season for the novice athlete. She's looking forward to the competition and hard work paying off.
At this point, I'm just ready for the show to be over, honestly, because it's been I've been prepping since February, so it's been a very long season for me, but at this point, it's just, like I said, you want to go to the stage better each time, so like I keep telling myself, everybody else is working really hard, so I can't slack either.
Nesbitt's coach, Cordell McNabb, says she's very enthusiastic. He has high hopes for the bodybuilding athlete, not only for this year's CAC, but in the bodybuilding sport overall.
She works hard, very dedicated, and the way she has been approaching the training is really positive, and we expect her to do well. Even though she's very young and she's new on the stage, we expect her to represent the Bahamas very well.
If you're planning to attend the CAC Bodybuilding Championships, it's September 24th through 27th over at Atlantis Paradise Island. Kimberly Wellings, ZNS Total Sports.
And the Cal's going to be in the women's fitness category. It's going to be great. Abaco Softball Association playoffs on the weekend, folks. Some scores to pass on to you very quickly. Lady Legends defeated the Major Payne 14-7 in that series. Carnetta Rackley was 4 for 4, 6 ribby to boot. And Beulah Kelly struck out 8 batters. The loss goes to Cicely Parker. Lady Legends lead that series now 3-0. And the A&G Turf Bulldogs, they over the Najiko Sluggers 15-0. Sean Thompson 3 for 3, 7 RBIs. And William Lefty Weatherford had a good one going through a one-hitter and struck out some 11 batters. The loss goes to Adrian Biff Henschel. As far as the A&G Bulldogs, they also took game 3, 12-0. It was Willard Gardner this time who was 3 for 4 and went 2 home runs in this one, 6 ribbies to boot. Tyler Russell struck 11 batters and threw one hitter. The loss goes to Shaq Adderley. And the Latino Destroyers defeated the Simple Solution Sharks 18-9. Daniel Adams 3 for 4, belted a good one, 8 RBIs as well, struck out 9 batters, and Jason Scott got the loss. And the Sharks turned around and rallied back and won it 16-8. Vargo McIntosh 5 for 5 in the game. Jason struck out 8 batters as well. And Freddie Skipper corners tag with the loss. The ladies will play on Wednesday. Well, let's run over to tell you what's happening as far as week 2 in the NFL. Well, let me tell you, the Dallas Cowboys had to celebrate their 2-0 shoes and boots and all in the Dallas duo. And I tell you what, they had a ball. And I can tell you that my Carolina Panthers are also 2-0. Bragging rights, we defeated the Texans. Woody, are you hemming out? And the Green Bay Packers made some folks cry last night. 30 and the wife also, she's a Finn. They lost, but again, he had to hold her hand and take her home. And yep, Chris and the 49ers simply donned the all-black. They are in mourning, and you know why? They got the West Coast going because the bottom line is this. Bradley Gibbs, Robert McPhee, the Niners, man, you better man the lifeboats. Women and children first. 49ers are headed down there. If you got any picks, don't forget to get them to us. ZNS3news@gmail.com or our Facebook page. That's Newsnight Freeport, and we will get it together. No noise from the Dolphins this week. It was quiet in here. It was nice. Just ask our security. She said, no phone calls, no problems. We're all okay tonight. That's a look at sports.